Hey y'all, this is Uncle Lila and this is Uncle Lila Plans. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoy. So in today's video, we're going to go over my 2026 planner stack. I said 2025. It looks like a lot, but just hear me out, okay? So we're going to start with the actual planners on this side, and then we're going to go over this in just a moment. So I'll just move everything out of the way, and we'll work from smallest to largest. So to start, we have my commonplace notebook. I'm still working through this. It was like a 200 or 300 something page. It's essentially the big pocket size notebook. I've been using this for about 2 years now. I really love it. I clearly still have a lot of pages to get through, so I'm going to still keep using this as my commonplace notebook. I do collections, things I want to buy, subscription boxes I want to look into, or advent calendars I want to get, books I want to read, shows I want to watch. So pretty much any like big list thing that I want to keep for a while, or like any big long-term collections are going to go in here. So that's what this is for. Next, we have my passport size planner. I do have clear covers on all my planners. I don't have anything decorated yet. I will be doing flip setups with you guys, but essentially we're just going to go through what I'm going to use it for. So this is the Sterling Ink 2026 Passport Horizontal Compact in the full year in the Mulberry color. As you'll notice, there's a lot of mulberry and a lot of pink. It's just the one notebook that's in the camel, and I wanted to get different colors. But anyway, so this is in the mulberry color. It is the gold foiling edging, because I don't think I can ever get a notebook or planner again without gold foil edges. And this is going to be my on-the-go planner. So this is what's going to go in my purse. This is what's going to go around with me for just to-dos and whatnot. So we have a little pocket. The clear cover is from Lauren Phelps Designs. All my clear covers are from Lauren Phelps Designs. So we have the title page. So I'm going to be using this page. Let me zoom you in so you can see a lot better. Okay. This page is going to be for important dates, days off, and days I work from home, just so I can keep track of those things. I like to have like a year at a glance type of situation. This is going to be for affirmations and aspirations, or a sticker collage. I haven't decided yet. These are two blank pages to get in the front. My goal pages are going to be for my most important goals. This is going to be a replica of my goals in my N2. So essentially my N2 and my passport are basically the same, but it's a little bit different. So anyway, I have my 4 most important goals. In this, I'll be tracking my period, how much water I drink a day, and if I 100%ed my to-do list. So if I crossed off everything I did on my to-do list, I'm going to track it here. These pages I'm going to put over here, shopping and errand reminders. So like when I need to get gifts, birthday cards, and just things I need to remember while I'm out and about. Important events, birthdays, and dates, anniversaries, those types of things. And this is going to be an expense tracker and payday tracker, just so I have a log of it. So basically anything I'm going to need when I'm out and about of the house, it's going to be here, like a big at glance. And then my monthlies are going to be the same as my N2. I might add a daily highlight at the bottom of the box if there's room. There might not be room. We'll see. And then, let's see. Okay, so my weeklies, I'm going to do my important dates, bills, events, those types of things. My work schedule, and a little daily blurb with decoration on the days. And then this blank box down here is going to be a shopping list, anything I need to buy, anything I need to pay, anything I need to do while I'm out of the house. This is what's going to be here. So essentially it's very similar to how I'm using it now, but much more functionally rather than more memory keeping style, what I'm using my which is what my current passport has transformed into. So essentially I'm just going to do a line like I do in my N2, and I'll write down anything important in like a little box, and then a daily blurb and some decoration or anything important I want to remember is going to go in the big section, which you'll see when we do our first weekly setup together. And then lastly, my back pages, I'm going to be using a big chunk of them for daily to-dos. So essentially I try to do as much as I can in a day, but also not do too much. So I'm going to split the page into 4 sections, and then each section will be a day. So I need about 90 to 92 pages for that. I'm going to have my shopping and on-the-go collections, meaning like my household trigger list, my food shopping trigger list. So things like cleaning supplies, hygiene products, whatnot. So if I'm out of the house and I'm like, hey, I'm out and about, do I need mouthwash? And I can look and be like, meh, might as well get it. And anything like my medical stuff is going to be in here, like anything I'm allergic to, things like that are going to be in here, as well as just some blank note pages so I can scribble, scrabble anything down, shopping list, whatever. So that's what these note pages are going to be for. So that is my passport planner. And then we have the big monster, my N2, which I think I need to zoom out so you can see. Yeah. So this is my N2. This is essentially the same as a week's size, and it is the Sterling Ink N2 Horizontal Full Year 2026 Common Planner. And again, it's in the mulberry color. I wanted to have a very matchy moment this year. Gold full edges. Again, nothing's decorated, just a clear cover on it to protect the cover. The mulberry edges are kind of like this pleather type of cover. So it's, I just want anything to happen to it, so I have the clear covers on it. And essentially, I could take everything that I'm doing and put it into this one planner. I could try to squeeze everything in here, but I want to utilize my stash of notebooks and things that I have, which is why I have everything spread out. And the reason you'll see in a minute. So I want to use what I currently have and what I have, basically like my stash of notebooks and things. So it seems redundant, but I promise it's not. So here's my Lauren Phelps design cover. So again, it's very similar to my horizontal. So this will be a glance of my important dates. So if I just need to flip it open and look at things, this will also be staying at home. So I don't know if you saw how big this is, but this is going to get chunky and it's a big one. So this is going to be staying at home and on my desk. The passport will go with me out and about and whatever. So this is going to be used for a quick important dates tracker. Down here, I always put the year of whatever animal it is sticker from the Coffee Monster Co. I'm waiting on that to come in, and then once I get that order, I will do my setups. This is going to be my affirmations and aspirations page. So this is something I'm going to come in and read every single day. So essentially, if you don't know, there's brain science behind affirmations, where essentially, like if you're looking for a red car, you're always going to see more red cars because your brain filters out information to what you're focusing on. So if I'm focusing on things like getting a better life and improving myself and feeling better about myself, if I'm constantly reminded of that, my brain is going to always be looking out for those things and is always going to be focusing on how we can achieve that goal. So if I keep this in mind consistently, then it's gonna it's kind of gonna happen not by itself, but like it's gonna more likely happen because my brain is constantly focused on those opportunities, on where we can achieve these things, looking out for those things. So it really is what you focus on becomes your reality, and the brain science behind it is absolutely fascinating. And a lot of people say that it's hokum, but it's really not. It's literal brain science to where your brain rewrites your outcome of your life. So if you're constantly like, my life sucks, everything's terrible, your brain's like, okay, cool, that's the reality we're focusing on. So if you and it's a really big mindset shift change. It's taken me about 2 years to have this big mindset shift change to where it's completely changed from how I thought even a few years ago. But it's something you have to choose. It's something you have to actively work on. So it's going to be something I'm going to be working on actively throughout the year. So I'm going to have all my affirmations and aspirations in these pages. And then these pages are going to be my 4 important goals that I'm going to be working on throughout the year. So I'm not the person that has like the goals of like owning my own business and getting the nice car and all those types of things. I realized recently that I have been in survival mode for like 90% of my life. So this year is going to be focusing on getting out of survival mode and kind of starting to create the life that I want to create the mindset that I want to be in, and focus on the things that I want to focus on. So it's really difficult when you've been stuck in survival mode, especially as long as I have, to transition out of that. And this is going to be that transition year. So we're focusing on goals that center around that, which again, I'll go over when I'm doing my setup. And then at the bottom, these are going to be my big to-dos with the room for the day I started it and the day I ended it. Things like completing my passport application, things like getting my driver's license, things like that. So, and then in my trackers, oh no, my tracker thing is not in here. So essentially, hold on, let me go get my tracker. Okay, so this is going to be my expense tracker as well as my paydays. Now this is almost exactly the same as my passport, But again, this is going to be staying at home. So I want to track my expenses while I'm out and about. And if I need to coordinate something around my paydays, because like a lot of Americans, I live paycheck to paycheck right now, which is something we'll be working on in 2026. But right now, I live paycheck to paycheck. So I need to make sure I keep in track of my paydays. And when I'm out and about and doing things and agreeing to plans, that I center that around what my expenses are going to be. So this is, again, staying at home. So this is going to be my expense tracker and my paydays tracker. So I have it all at a quick glance. And this is just like the total I spent for the day. So I'm going to have a more in-depth expense tracker in the back of my planner, but this is essentially the daily total. So these pages and all the pages in the front, I didn't really utilize that much last year. I had a lot of blank space in them because I wasn't sure how I wanted to use them. So I really thought through how I wanted to use these pages this year. So I want to use all my pages to the fullest because I paid for the entire planner. So I want to use the entire planner. So for the priorities, and so essentially the way this is set up is you have quarterly boxes, you have priorities, and then 3 months, and then 3 months with trackers here. So essentially, like I call it my quarterly box. I'm gonna have a quarterly recap, the number of books I've read, the shows I've watched, important reminders, and focus and goals for the quarter. So this is essentially breaking down my goals. So when you have the goal page here, you have your half year or quarterly right here. So this is gonna go into this box. And I like to keep track of the number of books I've read and the movies I've watched and shows I've watched because I have like a running list of like the titles, but I want to know how long it took me to get through those things or how long it took me to read this book. I am dyslexic, so it does take me longer than most people to read books, but like it also helps me keep track of doom scrolling, which is one of the things I really want to cut and kind of stop this year. I've been working on it so far the last couple of months, which I'm really proud of myself, but I also want to continue working on it in 2026. You also don't need a fresh start to the year to work on your goals. If you know what you want to achieve, you don't have to wait for January. You can start now. And one of my goals was to severely cut down my doom scrolling. So if I see it took me, like a show has, 20 episodes, and they're 30 minutes each, and it took me such a long time to watch them, was I working a lot? Was I doom scrolling a lot? What was happening in my life to where it took me 3 months to watch one TV show? That kind of thing. And then these are going to be listed with important dates and events, so birthdays, anniversaries, those types of things. When I started a book, or a movie or a show, when I started a book or a show, so on one side we'll have the important dates, on the other side we're going to have the books and the shows watched and the length. So I might start a book in January but not finish it till February. So that's where I want to keep that tracked. Songs I listen to on repeat. Once I find a song I like, I literally listen to it 1,000 times until I'm tired of it. So that's going to be here as well. Then essentially a little monthly review if there's any room. If not, that'll go on the monthly page. And then over here, for these boxes up top and these boxes on the bottom, I'm going to do what I did last year and track my YouTube and Instagram numbers. And the reason I'm doing the beginning and the end of the month is because the month ends on if it ends on the 30th, obviously starts on the 1st, I might have gained a follower or two between that 24-hour period. So I wanted to keep track of it that way. I'm also going to keep track of my water intake, my periods, my paydays, days that I deep clean things, my posting and filming days I have off, days I work from home, 100% of my to-do list. Which seems like a lot, but I will have a tracker here. And these are all things I just want to see at a glance. So that way I can keep track and be like, oh, the last time I deep cleaned my living room was January and now it's April. So we need to kind of get on that. So actually, there's a really great lady that if you don't follow her on socials, she essentially does like an ADHD hack, which has really, really helped me, where how long will it take me to do this? So how long I've been procrastinating this task and how long does it actually take me to do this? So like one thing, I think she procrastinated for like 2 or 3 years and it took her total of like messing around and everything like 45 minutes. So 3 years of her life worrying about this task that took her 45 minutes. That's also been really helping me and kind of thinking of it in the mindset of like how long is this going to take or like how long am I giving myself to do this task? So in the monthlies, you get the month of that year's December. So we get December 2025 and we get January 2027. I will not be using them as those dated monthly pages. So this is going to be my bill schedule with my monthly money goals, to-dos, my yearly and quarterly subs, and any big wish list items that I want to keep track of. So essentially I'm going to redate this, which again, I'll do with you in my setup. And this is going to have like on the 1st, rent is due. On the 10th, I have renter's insurance. On the 24th, my credit card is due. On the 20th, my Netflix is due. So essentially it'll be like a monthly overview. So I know, even if I don't set up my month for that year or that month, I know when I have bills due. So that way I have like my core bills, when they're due, how much it costs me, those types of things. And it helps me keep track of my yearly and quarterly subs so I don't forget they're coming up. Because like my phone bill is billed every quarter. But if I don't have it written down, I'll forget when it's due, and I'll be like, oh crap, I have my phone bill coming up. I don't remember when it's due. So that's what this is going to be for. Essentially my finance bill overview. And then this is going to be the same way that I have it currently in 2025. If it has an asterisk by it, it is going to be something I'm wanting to put in there to see if I have space. If I don't have the space, then we're not going to do it. So it's going to have bills, important dates, goals, my posting dates, my monthly review, and my monthly to-do. So like things I have to get done that month. And if I have room, monthly hopes, outlines, what I hope to do for the month, what I actually did for the month, and any hobby that I engaged in that month. So whether it was filming, watching TV, reading, video games, because again, I have ADHD and I tend to hyperfixate on a particular hobby if I have it for that moment. So I might be hyperfixating on a new video game or a DLC update or a book or author that I'm reading. So I want to keep track of that as well. That's going to be for all the months. And then January is going to be my chores and self-care calendar. So essentially the same thing as the bills, but for chores. So like the bins go up on Monday. I give Briar her bath on Wednesday. Laundry has to get done. So when is that going to get done? My hair mask, my face mask, things like that. So I have a monthly overview like, okay, here's the idealistically when I would like to get these things done. Here's what my current schedule and routine is. When can I get these things done? And then if that changes, I can white them out. But this is essentially just a grand overview to kind of take the guesswork out of, oh my gosh, I need to get these things done every week. When am I going to do them? So I'm looking at my schedule and the time I have available and when I can focus on those things. So I also have written down the squares, how many squares in each section. So I know that if I need to like do square specific, that's what that is. And I'm also going to have a list of cleaning supplies I need to have on hand. So I know like what I like to use or what I've really enjoyed using. So then our weeklies are going to essentially be a little bit different. So we're going to have the important dates and bills due over here. We're going to have our top 3 to do. So like if I get nothing else done, what am I doing today? And a daily highlight or a blurb and stickers and deco. On this, we're going to have our weekly tasks, so things we have to get done every week, things we have to get done that specific week, my dinner log, because I like to keep track, because I usually eat the same thing for breakfast and lunch, but I usually change up dinner. So I want to see when the last time I ate out was or when I delivered or whatever. My water log, so just keeping track in like a centralized place. Shopping to buy list, a weekly review, and then lots of extra room for stickers and deco. So I know like if I need to buy anything, I can transfer it from here into my passport planner. And that's what our weeks are going to look like. Tentatively for now, they might change throughout the year, but we'll see. And then the back pages are going to be my big workhorse. So it's going to have all of my trackers, my daily to-dos, my habits, my symptoms, highlights of the day, daily gratitude, expenses, orders, and anything else I'm wanting to track. So the trackers are going to be in the front, my collection pages are going to be in the back, and then my journaling is going to be in the middle. So I find it really hard when I'm journaling to like overcome the bulk of the planner. So like if I'm all the way, like let's say we're at this point in the year and I'm trying to journal, this is a lot to journal on top of. But if I have my journaling in the middle, it'll be a lot easier for me. And then I always feel bad because I feel like I hardly ever get the back pages of any notebook or journal. So I'm putting my collections in the back. That way I can use those up kind of like first. So that way everything can meet in the middle. So like I said, everything that I'm doing, I can technically put in my end to, or at least I can try to fit in my end to. But I want to use what I have so far. So if I just had to have a core system, that would be these 3 things right now. And the reason my passport and my N2 are very similar is I want to make sure I have a backup of records in case anything happens to my planner. Briar did get a hold of my 2024 planner, so that was all torn to shreds. And I did have other backups, so I was really grateful that I had all the information that I had in my 2024 in other planners. So while that planner was gone, I still had all my memories from that year, so it wasn't like I lost a year of my life. And I do sometimes struggle to keep up with my planners, which is also keeping in mind with all this stack. So when I am needing to, has this been crooked the entire time? Oh my goodness. When I'm needing to keep up with things and making sure that I'm getting all of my information where I want it to be, at the bare minimum, I'm getting it in one spot. So that's what that's for. So this is an A5 Slim Mulberry notebook from Sterling Ink. All my notebooks and planners are from Sterling Ink, except for my rings. Anyway, so my friend Kristen designed this. I work with them. This is absolutely hilarious. It says hop off, like F off, but hop off. And the frog is holding the little one back. It just brings me so much joy. So this is going to be my brain dump and morning pages and not tracker, what's the word I'm thinking of? Running log, essentially. So my to-do list are what I'm hoping to do for that day. That's what I have planned out. That's if everything goes perfect, we have all the energy, all those things. This is going to be what I actually get done in a day. So when I go back and look at my to-do list, like, oh man, I only did one thing on my to-do list, but here's everything you did outside the to-do list. So kind of making sure that I'm keeping track of, which is something I've been trying to do for a while now, and just a brain dump so I can just word vomit anything that I have going on. And then my morning pages, which is essentially like I'm combining with like a brain dump. Because when I first wake up in the morning, my mind's going like a million miles an hour. So I want to have a place I can track all that down. And then later in the day, write down everything I did that day. So at the bare minimum, I know that essentially I know I did more than what I think I did. And even on days where I cross off everything on my to-do list, I still sometimes end up doing more. So I want to keep track of that. So that's what this notebook is for. And again, it's just utilizing my notebooks, using what we have, so that's what that's for. And my stack is getting a little precarious. This is a B6 Slim. This is in the pink color. I forget what the color is called. But this is also from Sterling Ink, covered from Lauren Phelps Designs. And this is my journaling journal. So essentially, this has a bunch of journaling prompts I wrote in it. And if I'm just wanting to have a different mindset change, so typically what my journaling is writing down a play-by-play of my day. So I can remember my day better and what happened. This is more so like if you could be any insect, what would you be? It's that kind of thing. So there's another person that I follow that essentially tries to do something different every single day to wake up their brain and get on autopilot mode. This is essentially the same thing, but with journaling and writing. So I can have a little bit of fun, a little bit of a cognitive challenge, and kind of be outside of the box when I'm writing things down. Because I'm always so focused on recording my day, I forget all the fun things that journaling can be. So it has a bunch of different journaling prompts and exercises and challenges that I'm going to work through in this planner. So again, that's something I could do on my N2 theoretically, but this is just utilizing a notebook, and I thought it went really well with like the self-care theme that I have. So that's what this is for. Okay, so this is my supplemental notebook. So again, it's a notebook that I had on hand already that I've had for a little while now. This is in the N2 size, so the week size, and it is the smaller version, so it's like the 180 pages. And this is for if I run out of any room for journaling, so I don't have to stress about how many pages I'm using. So one of the big, is it crooked still? So one of the big issues I find with journaling is that, especially in a book-bound system, I don't want to run out of pages. And this is essentially making sure I don't have to worry about that. So if I do run out of pages in my N2 or any of my other notebooks, I have a backup. So I can journal as much as I'm wanting and write as much as I want and not feel like I'm cramped for space while getting out how I'm feeling authentically and all that, and having like a backup. So that's what this is going to be for. So this is essentially making sure I don't have to stress about journaling. Okay. This workhorse is my personal rings planner. And again, this is all the things I already had. So I spent like the only money I spent so far on my setup this year was a couple of stickers from the Coffee Monster Co. and my planners. Everything else I already had. Now, was that money I already spent? Yes. But I'm utilizing my stash and everything that I have, making sure I'm using what I have and not buying new stuff. So this, if you watched my other video, this is going to be my tracker planner. So this has a bunch of tracker logs in it. It's already set up previously from how I had it set up as a personal rings I was using. But essentially this has a bunch of trackers in it. So I'm going to be using these as, this is going to be a continuation planner. So it's something I'm using past 2026. I've already put in everything I've used in 2025, and then we're going to fill up for 2026. So I have an overview of all my trackers, so they're not all stuck in one book. So I can see, hey, here was my expenses in 2025. Here's my expenses in 2028. This is how my life changed. Where's my wellness section? So like, here's my sleep for 2026. Here's my sleep for 2025. What was going on, what was different, and those types of things. So this is essentially something I'm using for multiple years and not just for 2026, which is essentially, can you please be straight? Gee, little beats. Sorry. So this is essentially going to be something I'm utilizing, like my commonplace notebook, I can use for multiple years. And then lastly, we have my budget notebook. So this is an A5 half-year notebook from Sterling Ink. I bought this when her first A5 notebooks came out. Why does it look crooked as all get out? Am I crooked? Anyway, sorry for keep messing with the camera. I feel like everything looks crooked. But anyway, so I use this for budgeting. So I use it for writing out all of the things I need to spend money on. My hopes, my dreams, my goals, my frustrations. So this is a very in-depth, like down to the micro-cent budget. And again, this is something I've used for multiple years. This is something I've used before 2025 and something I'll use after 2026 as long as I have room. So a lot of these are continuation notebooks. These are no stress notebooks. And these are things that I can continue to use as the years progress and not something I'm using solely for 2025. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. Anyway, so this is something I'm in about once a month. So again, it's very low stakes, very... not something I have to use like every single day very consistently. This is something I use when I need to sit down and like hardcore budget. So this is used on a once a month basis. This will be used on a monthly basis where I'll go through my current trackers that I have set up and just fill in the information. So this isn't even like something I have to touch every day or every week. This is 5 minutes at most, going in once a month and filling out my trackers. This is in case I run out of room. So this is only touch it when I need it. This is very low stakes journaling, so I can use it when I want to use it, don't have to use it when I don't want to use it. This is also very low stakes, where it's not dated, it's just a journal in a notebook, so if I need to brain dump and word vomit, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to, and I can just do my, there's a specific word for it, but essentially, what's the word? Hold on. Sorry, I couldn't find the word for it, but essentially it's going to be like my running list. My rapid log, that's what I'm looking for. It's my rapid log. So everything I accomplished in that day, that's what's going to be in here. This is use it as I need it. So this is also very low stakes, touch when I can. So this is something I don't have to keep up with every single day. The only thing I'm going to keep up with every single day is these two books right here. And again, even then, what I put in one book, I can put in the other. As long as I'm keeping up with my journaling, everything's fine. But even then, my daily blurbs that I do, I can kind of figure out what's going on with my day and expand on that from my little blurb. So the only thing I'm keeping up with is every single day is these two books right here. Maybe these three books right here is every single day. Everything else is use it when I want to use it when I feel like using it, and very low stakes, I don't have to be in this all the time. So it looks like a lot. But it's things I've already been using and things I continue to use that have worked for me in my system. This is the stuff that we're adding in fresh this year. This is what we're working on completing this year. So seems like a lot. It's really not. And it's mostly utilizing things I already had out and about and things I was thinking, hey, what can I use? What do I want to use? How do I want to think through this? How do I want to work through this? And just essentially figuring out of what I'm using these notebooks for. So that is my 2026 planner lineup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will be doing thorough setups of these two books coming soon once I get the stickers I need from the Coffee Monster Co. If I don't get them in before my vacation in December, then I'll just go ahead and set them up. Because there's going to be a lot of setup involved, especially with the N2, I might do part videos just to see, because again, I film on my phone and it doesn't last that, I don't have that much room on my phone. But I will be doing setup videos in here. Everything else just has a sticker on it and I just write whatever I need to write on it. So, yeah, so that's everything I'm using for 2026. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments. Please let me know what you're using for your 2026 planner. If you're an all-in-one person, I will say if I wanted to be all-in-one and not have the fun creative journaling and the existing things, I do think that I would need either a bigger sized planner, like an N1 or an A5 or a B5 even, if I was going to put literally everything into one planner. But again, I like having separate planners because it helps ensure that I'm having those creative juices flowing. I'm getting to engage with different things, use all the products that I have, and also ensures that I have a backup in case anything happens so I didn't lose a year of my life. And I know lots of people are one and done planners. I know there's been a lot of talk about over-consumerism in the planner community. But for me, this makes me happy. This is the one hobby that I really engage in and put a lot of effort and money into. And this makes me happy. Getting to sit down and journal and write and sticker everything up and make my videos. This is my joy. So I will do what I have, especially in the way the world is today. I will do what I have to or what I want to engage in joy and have that little bit of happiness in my life and that little like creative outlet in my life. So yeah, that's my spiel on that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some fun ideas for what you're going to be using. And I look forward to setting these up and using them with you in 2026. Just remember that I love you so, so much and I'm so proud of you. Y'all have a great day. Bye.